Welcome to the Liberty Flames podcast channel. Time now to introduce you to the Flames making news on the court, the field, and in the classroom.
Welcome into the Liberty Flames softball show. I'm now joined by Savannah Jessee. Savannah, first off, there are a lot of Savannahs on the team, and I'm struggling to remember because I know one of the Savannahs has an extra in. First of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad to be back on. It's been about a year, I guess. So
yeah, time flies. Though,
it does.
It?
It does.
So are you a single N or double N?
I'm the double N.
You're the double N.
Yes.
So when I say your name, I've got to say the N a little bit longer.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody is Savannah, and then you're Savannah.
That's right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I have to remember that. Is it confusing? But you guys all kind of have your own like nicknames. No one really calls you Savannah, do they?
No. So growing up, I had a lot of nicknames like SJ, Savvy J sometimes, and I got here and they were trying to figure out a nickname for me because me and Savannah Woodard, having two Savannah was kind of odd. When I was on a team, it was really just one Savannah. It was kind of odd to have multiple Savannahs. It's just not a name that you hear as much, but I mean, it's kind of common, but just not as common. But so my nickname kind of comes from my last name. So they call me Jesser. My last name's Jessee, so they added an R on the end of it. There's a huge long story to that, but I'll have to say that for another day. But Savannah,
who did it?
Yeah, so the Fagans
Okay.
came up with that.
Okay.
It was kind of like a childhood thing to them. They had a correlation, so they thought of me, and that's it. Sometimes they call me Susan because my first name's Savannah, and then my stepmom's name is Susan as well, so it's like S's, all that ordeal. But I love my nickname, Jesser Sue, Susan. I get them all, but Savannah Woodard, we call her Woodard, we call her Woody sometimes, Sav to some people, and then Savannah Watley is Watt from Coach, or Sav, but mainly Watt.
Yeah, and you got multiple Rachels, but
Yes.
everybody calls Roop, and what does
Crane.
everybody call Crane?
Just Crane.
Crane is
Yeah.
Craney. Yeah.
Craney. And then we got two Pages, so we call Paige Bachman Bach or Baki, and then Paige Dorr, we just call her Dorr, and I call her Paige. So
It's kind of wild that there's that many overlays, and then you see a lot of times teams that you guys play will have an Elena.
yes.
Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting into all these weird sidetracks, but that stuff sort of fascinates me.
Yes, sir.
It has sort of a hockey mentality. I don't know if you've been around hockey teams. They like to just throw an extra letter on the end of names, either an R or a Y,
Yeah.
or they just use part of a last name. Like they might call you Jess,
Yeah.
just instead, or
Yeah.
like Carlson is Carl or Carly. It's kind of
Right.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the things that people that haven't participated in sports might not realize is there's so much behind the scenes, and I know it can be confusing too to someone who doesn't know any better, because if someone was trying to figure out how to say, let's say Rachel's last name,
Right.
so how do you say that, and then they hear Coach say Rupee, and that could easily be how you would say.
Right, because it ends in an E. So
Yeah.
Right, exactly, absolutely.
So it's fun it's just fun being kind of behind the scenes with some of that stuff, and then hearing where some of those nicknames come from, because sometimes it's not exactly what you expect
No,
at
no,
all.
absolutely.
What's your favorite teammate nickname that you can think of, even if it goes back to high school, middle school?
Gosh.
Have you given any nicknames to anybody?
I'm trying to think. I don't think that I've came up with any. I know that my senior year of high school, there was five or six of us seniors. We were all really close, and I went to a country school, Daniel Boone High School, out in the middle of Gray, Tennessee, and we came up with like some country names. Like my nickname was Dixie. Just some different nicknames like that. We actually got shirts made and our names put on the back. But the other names, I cannot remember for the life of me what they were, but I know I was given the name Dixie. I love the Dixie Chicks, so.
No kidding.
Yeah, so not as much, I don't like them as much now because they've changed, but I used to like them with their old country music, so that was kind of where that came from. And then the nickname I have here, like some people from like home have started calling me that, and then some people like fans, like little girls, they'll like say Jesser instead of like Jessee. They think my last name's actually Jesser, so that's kind of funny. But it's stuck. I love it. My dad calls me Savvy J sometimes as like a joke. So, or sometimes they'll be like, I think it's like Savage. Like he'll be like, yeah, what's up, Savage?
Nice.
Like, but that's like my dad's kind of joke to me. Not many people call me that. But I was trying to think of my favorite one from the team. Oh my gosh, I love just saying Craney. I don't know. And then sometimes Bryn, like Bryn's my roommate, and I'll call her Brinny Poo sometimes, or Brinny or something like that. Or sometimes people will call her B, but for the most part I call her Bryn. But having the nicknames kind of like lightens up the mood, especially like in a tough situation, or it makes people laugh. So.
You mentioned the kids. There's a lot of kids that come out to the games now.
Yes.
When you guys have the autograph sessions, there's a line coming out of the stands to get autographs and pictures taken.
Yeah.
Did you have that expectation coming to college, or has it kind of impressed you how much the young kids really get into it?
Yeah, so I definitely had the expectation. I used to be one of those kids going up to girls wanting their autograph or at least a picture. I was always like not afraid to go up to them and ask. My dad always told me, like you're going to be there one day. You're going to be that person one day. So I thought that was super neat. But yeah, the past couple of weeks we've had a lot of fans come, especially to our last couple home games, and they've just an influx of little girls from ages like 6 all the way to like 15, so they're in different stages of softball and in life right now. But I think the coolest thing, I had a little girl who's came to almost every home game, and she finally brought all her catcher's gear, and she wanted me to sign her chest protector, and she said, I want to be like you when I grow up. And that was the sweetest thing I've ever heard, and that's kind of comes down to why I do what I do, make sure I carry myself well because she's watching what I do. And I'm just kind of like an example to her. And so I have to remember that through everything that I do, that her little eyes are watching me. And so I have to make sure that I'm pleasing the Lord through everything I'm doing. And because I know that her and her parents are watching me every step of the way. So that was a pretty cool thing. And then I know that tons of my different teammates have a lot of little girls that are their favorite or whatever. And they have tons of stuff that we sign, balls after balls and shirts and jerseys and gloves and cleats. And sometimes the parents are like, oh, no glove. Like sometimes the kids just want you to sign whatever. But it's been a joy, and to see the joy on their faces when we walk out is something super special to make us know why we do it. So.
It's cool that you got some aspiring catchers coming in too, because
That's right.
Usually at a young age it's I want to be a pitcher, I want to be the shortstop, I want to be the center fielder.
Absolutely.
That's just the way it is. So
Absolutely.
That you've got some aspiring catchers, that's pretty good.
I know. I was kind of shocked because most people obviously don't want to do that position. I didn't want to do that position when I was younger. I wanted to play first base and pitch, but yeah, it's super neat to see that. I know that there's a lot of good catchers, especially in the SEC, that a lot of young girls look up to, but for them to look up to me and to see me, it's pretty special to me. I know catching is one of the hardest things I've done. I know here coming up at Texas A&M, it's going to be about 100 degrees, so I got to be prepared for that. But it comes with a huge responsibility, but you have the best view of the field, and you can touch the ball every play, just like a pitcher. So that's why I love it.
And you're the only one standing in foul territory when the play begins. So that's kind of a unique trivia thing too.
Absolutely.
There's a kinship between catchers and umpires. And I know sometimes you might not like the strike zone, and they might not like it when you don't like the strike zone. But
right.
In general, you guys take a beating back there, and you kind of look out for each other a little bit. If the umpire gets nicked, you're going to take a little walk out to the circle to give him some time, and if you get nicked, he's going to clean the plate to give you a little time. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of respect there. Goes both ways. I always have been told to make sure I introduce myself, shake their hand, and look them in the eye when I see them, because you gain a lot of respect from the beginning. So you may get a couple more calls, or things may go a little bit better your way, and maybe not. But if you have a lot of respect for them and they know that, I know that it's important for us not to turn and look at them, but to talk to them and have a good conversation with them, and they'll respect you. But I get beat up all the time back there, and they're very nice about, hey, take your time. And I'm usually like, no, I'm good, let's go. I don't like to wallow in it. I like to just get up and be ready to go for the next play. But same for them. If they get nicked and it somehow misses me and it hits them or something like that, then I always want to respect them by taking my time. So there's a good relationship there for the most part.
Framing a pitch is kind of I don't want to say a lost art. I think it's in Major League Baseball, it's going to eventually be a lost art because of the automated umpiring system, the challenges and all that stuff. Because if you frame too good, you could mess your pitcher up, and he might challenge when you shouldn't have challenged
Yes.
because it was not a ball, but you brought it back in. So when you're framing, have you ever framed one so much so that the umpire was like, "Come on"? Have they ever communicated with you after a frame job?
I'm trying to think. Not that I can remember off the top of my head they've done. I know that sometimes, like, let's see, last weekend we had a really tight umpire at WKU. And, like, we were like, what in the world? Like, where does he want us to pitch it? Down the middle? Like, you know, it's frustrating. And I know that sometimes, like, coach will go ask the umpire after the inning, be like, hey, like, what are you seeing back there? What can our catcher do better? Or, like, something like that to kind of, like, make it look like she's kind of fussing at me, but not. Like, she makes him feel bad type of way.
Right,
like, she's not fussing at me, but she wants to get through to him, like, hey, I think she's doing what she's supposed to, like, what else can she do at this point? So I know that one guy was like, yeah, I think she's moving her glove too much. And I was like, that's crazy. I was like, I'm not even moving my glove. And we went to watch film, and my glove was like, obviously as a catcher, your glove's going to move a little bit. I mean, that's part of the job, right? But it was moving like a millimeter, and he was like making it a huge deal. So I've never been told like directly. I know sometimes he'll be like, hey, that was a ball off, or like, you know, he'll tell me where the ball was, but not really like my glove work or anything like that. I know they have a lot to see back there too, so I definitely could not do their job. But yeah, it gets pretty frustrating, especially when you have a bad one. But when you have the good ones, it makes it so much better too. So,
who do you kind of look up to as far as a catcher is concerned, or model your game after?
So to be honest with you, I had no interest in becoming a catcher when I was younger. When I first started, like, I didn't even look up to anybody. I didn't have really anybody to look up to. I always just thought Jenny Finch was cool because she was tall like me and she had blonde hair. That's why and she was from the South. That's really why I liked her. And she was a pitcher. So I pitched for a little bit, but I had no like inspiration or anything like that. But I started catching when I was 8 because I had to, because a girl got hurt. So that's why I kind of got thrown into it. I had a naturally strong arm, and I was tall and things like that. And so kind of got thrown into that, and I've loved it ever since. But I know that there's tons of good catchers out there. Aubrey Monroe she used to play at Florida. She's now playing for the USA. Like, great catcher to look up to. You know, our Sammy here, she never caught collegiately. She would catch bullpens, things like that, but she never like really caught. She was more so a shortstopper or an outfielder. But the knowledge that she has of catching is unlike anything I've ever seen, and she makes it so simple.
Wow.
So she has made me to the catcher I am today by keeping it simple for me. I'm very simple-minded, very easy cues, very visual cues, and since I've been here, so I guess 3 years ago now, which is crazy, I have improved a lot, and I couldn't thank her enough. I mean, receiving is the most important thing in catching besides your pop time. And so we had to nail that down. It's taken a little while to be close to perfection, but you have to, like Coach always says, make sure that you maintain the pursuit of perfection. And so that's what I've tried to do, and just to keep catching simple. And it's a very hard skill, but if you just keep that simple mindset, then it makes it so much easier. So lots of film we watch. We watch a lot of MLB players. So like, we don't watch as many softball players. We watch a lot of MLB catchers, because you'll see with MLB, like, they are the quietest movers. They're so simple with their glove, and they have a lot of respect. A lot of people have a lot of respect for them. So I would say that when we do watch film, we critique what maybe I could have done better on each pitcher that we have in our staff, and then we'll compare it to like some MLB catchers as well.
Well, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Because here's a good example.
Yeah.
You're playing against a team like FIU. They're going to try to steal a lot of bases. They're really quick. They got a lot of slappers, bunters. They're just trying to get the first base because they think it's going to be a double to get the first.
Yeah.
Well, you've got the best stolen base person in the country on your team that you get to practice with on a daily basis, and KK. Right. How nice is it? And then not that Lily or Aubrey or whoever, you got some pretty fast players on your team, but let's just stick with KK for the moment, to be able to work with her in practice, because if you can throw KK out, you can throw anybody out.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we do a lot of pop time things. We do a lot of throws, things like that. We don't do as many live runner situations as much, but when we do, like, I always ask if I can go against KK, just because she's the best competition. I always say KK, Lily, Aubrey, JaMaya's quick as well. Anybody that's in those top like 5 I always ask if I can go against because it just makes me better and it makes them better too. So I love being able to have people like that on the team. FIU last year when we played them, they stole almost every time, and I did really well against them. This year they did the same thing, and I was expecting it, so I was able to throw some of their goals out as well. But it just is, it's insane how fast KK is. It's just like a flash of lightning when she runs from first, and she's had a time with the opponents this year because they have challenged her leaving early almost every single time she gets on base because that's the only hope they have. And I think she's only been called out one time in the amount of in 10. I think they've tried her like 10 times and she's only been called out once, and that was even close. So I mean, she's unreal, but it makes me better. So that's all I care about.
What's going on off the field? Remind us what you're studying.
Yeah, so I am studying my sport management degree. I actually just graduated last week. I did it in 3 years, so we were gone, so I didn't get to do graduation, but I am done with my undergrad. So I came in as a sophomore basically because of my credits I got from high school. So it only took me 3 years to get my degree. So I just finished that, and then I just applied for my master's here. And I am doing it in my Master's of Business Administration, so my MBA. I have a huge internship this summer with Bristol Motor Speedway.
Wow.
So I live about 30 minutes from the track. I've grown up going to the races and things like that.
What time frame?
Yeah, so my internship actually starts today, but I'm still in softball, so I can't do anything. And it goes through August 12th, so I'll be able to be working the Atlanta Braves and Cincinnati Reds MLB game. So
you read my mind.
Yes,
That's
sir.
exactly what I was
sir.
thinking.
So one of my best friends from home, her dad is head of marketing at Bristol, and my papa sponsors some race car drivers over there. Bristol's, I grew up going to races, so I have a little bit of an in there, but me and 3 of my really good friends from home are going to be doing the same job. So I'll be working for the track, I'll be working in the suites, doing some hospitality stuff for big donors. I'll be working the dragway a couple weekends. I will get the main goal of this internship, I got to get 200 hours of work, but the MLB game is what I'm most excited for. It's a once-in-a-lifetime, opportunity. There was a football game there a couple years back that I was able to attend, and that was awesome. So getting to do that, I'm super, super excited. And I've got this year coming up. So this year and then another year. So I've got 2 more years left because I still have that medical red shirt from my thumb injury. So I'm excited I get to stay here and do my master's. And the internship is what I'm most looking forward to this summer. I get to learn a lot.
Well, when you're not working this summer, what's going to keep you busy when you're wanting to have a little fun?
Yeah, so I love doing CrossFit when I'm at home, working out. It's a passion of my family's that we used to do when I was super young. My parents have both gotten busy with their jobs, and my grandparents are getting older, things like that, so they haven't been able to do it as much, but definitely be working out. Staying with my training, hitting a lot, trying to find ways to hit with my job is going to be hard, but you have to make sacrifices.
When they set the field up for the baseball, bring your gear and take some swings.
That's right. Me and my friend, so my friend that's doing it with me plays at Tennessee, one of my best friends, and her name's Cameron, and so she has a job with me, and we were like, I wonder if they let us hit on the field or something before. So we have a couple ins, so I'm hoping that would be pretty cool. I know some people have already asked me, can you get me tickets, things like that. So I'm trying to get that worked out. But yeah, so I love to fish. Fishing is a huge hobby of mine, especially being from Tennessee. But I'm gonna be fishing a lot, and then I love to sing karaoke. So me and my friends go to this marina down by our lake, and we sing karaoke sometimes. Kidding. So I love doing that. That's another fun thing. And then I love going to the lake. The lake is like one of my favorite things to do. So going on a boat, tubing, things like that with my family, my grandparents. I got a lot of friends back home that I'm excited to see whenever season's over, but they'll have to wait till we're done beating Texas A&M. So
sounds like a plan.
That's right.
Who got you interested in fishing to start with?
Well, I grew up on my mama's house was on a lake, so we grew up fishing when I was younger. My dad always took me fishing when I was little. Tennessee's surrounded by a lot of lakes, so there's endless places you can go. But I kind of just grew up in it. Papa likes to fish, Mama likes to fish, Dad likes to fish, etc. So I've had anywhere from a tiny little fishing pole that was like Disney princess to all the way to my own nice open rod that I have. So I've actually tried to fish here a couple times. I did last year, and I've never caught a fish in Virginia. And it was this big ordeal. And they're like, are you sure you know how to fish? Like, what are you doing? A couple of my teammates. And so I've always taken Roop and Crane and Bryn. And so this past week, actually, we went to a person that I know has a pond here. and they had bass, catfish, some sunfish in there. And so I was like, this is a time. We're going to catch something this year. I'm tired of not catching anything. So me, Bryn, Paige Dorr, Roop, and Crane went fishing, and we caught a couple bass last week. So here in Virginia, so that was fun.
That's cool.
So yeah, that was a fun time. But it's just like super peaceful, and it takes a lot of patience. So sometimes it gets frustrating, but when you catch one, it's so fun. So I love doing it.
Do you have any trophies on the wall? Is that still a thing, the taxidermy after you catch a big one?
I don't have any, but my dad's got some deer. He doesn't have any fish, but he's got some deer up. He used to have it at our old house, but he's had to take them down. But he's killed a couple deer. I've killed one deer in my life. We used to go hunting when I was little in Mississippi, out in the middle of nowhere, where like armadillos roam, things like that.
Really?
Yeah, so I went with him once or twice. I can't remember if I went twice or not, but I know for sure I went one time. Wow. And he used to go with his best friend all the time, but life has gotten busy, so he has not been in a long time. But lots of my family like to hunt for sure. So, and my papa, he has a farm of his own, so he'll go out there and shoot coyotes sometimes because we have cows. So, don't want to get the cows hurt. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Might see a few of those in Texas too.
Yeah, probably so. Yes, sir.
Well, I guess this is going to be a cheesy segue, but you go from hunting game and fishing to hunting some wins and trying to get to the Super Regionals. And I know it's a challenge going to have to play Texas A&M, but the good side of that is if you beat Texas A&M, then you get their draw from then on, and
that's right.
It would be in theory, the easiest Super Regional and the easiest start at the World Series if you get that far. So.
Absolutely, and I know we can do it. I got all the faith in the world in us. We're the best team that's ever came through here, and got so much talent. Our coaches believe in us. Our support staff believes in us. They do so much for us, and I know we can get the job done. We just got to make sure that we stay together. That's the key. So.
And winning a regional is never easy. No matter what the seed you're going against. So you might as well, if you're going to win one, you might as well have a little history.
Absolutely.
And it'd be the first time in the Super Regional era that the number one overall seed gets knocked out on the first weekend. That sounds like a good plan to me.
And we knocked out the number 2 my freshman year at UCLA. So let's see if we can knock out the number 1.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be awesome.
How about that for a resume at the end of your career? The next year, you're just going to be rooting to get drawn against the number 3. Let's keep it going. Give me the 4 of the year after that. But
yes, sir.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
And say hello to your family. I know they are big supporters of yours all the time.
Yes. What's up, Dad? What's up, Susan? Love you guys so much. Thank you guys for always supporting me and coming across the country to come watch me play. I wouldn't be here without you guys. I'm so excited that you guys get to see me and the team play in such a big atmosphere. You guys have pushed me to be the best that I can be, and thank you for just putting the Lord first so that I can put him first in my life, and he's going to take care of the rest. So I love you guys, and I'll see you in a couple days. I
can't say anything else. That's the perfect way to end the conversation. Thanks again for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We'll be back with more of the Liberty Softball Show right after this timeout.
What's important isn't that Freedom First has been in business since 1956. What's important is how we've been doing business since 1956. Since day one, we have been accountable to our members, not stockholders. We make loans that cost less, offer savings plans that pay more, and give back to our community, and that hasn't changed. What has changed is our ability to serve you with more locations and more technology to simplify your financial life. Freedom First. It's a place where anyone in our region can bank for good.
Lynchburg Nissan is jumping into March Madness with full court press savings. Right now, save $6,100 off MSRP. Lock in rates as low as 2.39%. And get up to 130% of fair KBB value for your trade. And because we believe in driving with confidence, every new Nissan comes with our 1,000,000-mile powertrain warranty. That's peace of mind for the road ahead. Don't miss these slam dunk deals. Visit Lynchburg Nissan today or shop online anytime at lynchburgnissan.com. Home of the 1,000,000-mile warranty.
Turn up the heat. Foster Fuels is a proud partner of Liberty Athletics. Fostering warm moments for 100 years, Foster has been providing exceptional propane and gas services throughout Central Virginia and surrounding areas. From propane to fireplaces and tank installs to tankless water heaters, Foster does it all. Visit fosterfuels.com or download the app to order fuel, pay your bill, and more. Get the customer service you deserve and turn up the heat with Foster Fuels and the Liberty Flames.
Earthlight Mid-Atlantic, your trusted solar and energy efficiency experts. With a focus on honesty, education, and excellence, they light the way to savings, home comfort, and a greener future. Educating homeowners about the power of solar and energy efficiency is their winning game plan. Give Earthright Mid-Atlantic a call today at 434-200-9716 or visit erepower.com.
Welcome back into the Liberty Flames softball show. We're now joined by JaMaya Byrum. JaMaya, welcome to the show.
Hey, hello. Thank you for having me.
I got to start with, your biggest memory, and I know this is, as you continue your career, this could change. It could be, I could ask you next week and you're going to say, when we beat Texas A&M.
Oh, yeah.
But what would be your best team memory and your best personal memory so far? Because I've got an answer, and I want to see if my answer matches what I think you're going to say. Or no, what you do say. If what I think you're going to say is matching what you do say.
I think for the team, so far it's just been conference wins and tournament time. Both years have been really awesome. Just different games being so tight and just knowing that we can, break through any type of adversity. Those are some of the most fun wins, but also kind of worrisome just because it's a lot to go through, a lot of emotions on each side of the ball. But I think that those are some of my favorite memories, just everyone really having to lock in and work with each other. I think one of my personal ones would have to be last year hitting a home run at Oklahoma. It was pretty cool, and my mom was there, so that was awesome.
I figured that was going to be it. The home run at Oklahoma maybe just barely trumps the home run at the conference tournament this year, because that one was pretty good too.
Thank you.
What did you see on that play?
I think I'm just cleared my mind a little bit more than usual, just able to see ball, hit ball, keep it simple.
And the smile on your face coming around. I think they had cameras up in that parking garage at Western Kentucky, and I'm pretty sure somebody parked on that top floor would have been able to see the glisten off of your smile coming around the bases from there, because you were showing off all your teeth on that play. You're pretty happy, and your teammates were pretty happy for you as well. What's going through your mind as you're running the bases in that spot?
I think I just got to kind of take a deep breath. I think that this year has been a little more the tougher side, just hitting wise, and just some different things that I've went through, the teams went through. So just to know that, first of all, my team is so supportive, and just knowing that that was kind of a big moment for me, and just getting to celebrate that with the girls was really awesome. So in my mind, it was like, ooh, this is great.
You talk about this season with injuries, there's always going to be adjustments, and I know you would want to start all 60 whatever games. I understand that completely. The way things worked out, though, you've had to come in a couple of chunks where you didn't play for a while, and then you played for a week or two, and then you didn't play for a week, and then now you've played for a week or two. How tough is that adjustment when you're kind of coming in and out of the lineup?
It's pretty tough to try to stay as focused as possible, just knowing that I've gotten to play live some and then not, and just having to kind of just be a steward whatever moment I have, and just knowing that, okay, if I'm not playing today, I'll try to be the best teammate I can, and just also stay focused situationally, learning as much as I can from the people who are playing. And then when I do get in there, I do think I have to kind of battle a lot of the mental side of it, just because there is some fear of not being super comfortable, of coming in different games, and whether it's a big game or just, regular season game, it's all important to our team. So just knowing that I just have to show up and step up as much as I can through all the adversity and all the fear either way.
I know that FIU series, because you hadn't played in the midweek game, but then you were back in the lineup and you were in the field playing in the FIU series. And it's just, I feel like this is always the case. When a situation like that happens, the ball is going to find you time and time and time again. And I want to say maybe one of the first at bats in the first inning, there was a hard hit ball to you, and you played flawlessly that entire weekend. I'm not trying to embarrass you, but no errors. You played great in the field, and carry that through for the next few games as well. But did you kind of not that you were rooting against the ball coming to you, but was it nice almost in a way that you were able to get that out? Okay, I got this. No big deal. Hit it as hard as you want. I got it.
I think so. It was just a good refresher to know game time, I can play my position. I also think, I talk to a lot of my infielders, and I'm like, it's almost easier when you get a ball in the first inning, because then it's like, okay, I don't have to wait on it anymore. Like, I'm good to go, and you kind of get in a groove. So it was really nice, that series. I got a ton of action on the field, so that was awesome, and just getting to make as many plays as I could for the team.
Is communication, when you're talking about shortstops and center fielders, communication is so vital.
Yes.
Is that the thing that maybe takes a little bit longer when you've been out of the lineup for a while to kind of come back in and get on the same page? But I mean, you've got some veteran infielders there with you, with Crane on one side and Woodard on the other side, and KK out in center field, and even Dorr out in left field. As far as, I'm sure that's not a big deal, but does it take a little while to kind of get back in that groove?
A little bit, but we do practice so much, and I'm just so used to getting a bunch of reps with them, and they're just such all great leaders, all four of them that you mentioned, just making sure that they pick me up. We're, try to be as loud as we can in games, communicating on different shifts or where we're at in the lineup, just different things that are going to be happening. So they're just such great leaders, especially Crane and Woodard, just, kind of helping me out in any opportunity that I need. And we're also close as a team anyways, that I think they make it easy to come in.
Is shortstop your most natural position? Is that what you played growing up?
It is what I played growing up. I think since my freshman year of high school, I guess, is when I first started playing shortstop, I want to say. I could be lying. I feel like my dad's going to watch this, and he's like, no, that's not true. But I primarily played third and short growing up, so yeah.
Any second?
Second some for my travel ball team.
Did you play a little bit of
bit
second last year?
I did.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Last year I switched back and forth between second and third.
Okay. Yeah, as I get older, things don't stick with me, and I wish I had Joe Carmony's, elephant mind where everything's, exactly. But I thought maybe you had. How big of a difference is, because you would kind of think short and third, they're interacting so much that it's not the same, because it's coming at you quick at third.
Right.
But you guys deal with the communication so much that that's somewhat interchangeable. But how much of a difference is short and second?
I'd say they're also similar on the side of you can get a lot of range from left to right on both positions. Also just the middles are super important when you're running relays and balls are coming in from the outfield. You got to be in a good position. And I think that that's something I've had to work really hard on this year, is knowing just situationally where to be for different games, different speeds, different arms in the outfield. So second and short kind of differ in some areas, but I'd say they're pretty similar.
How does it work as far as who's going to cover in certain situations, whether it be a stolen base or whether it be, on the bunts, usually you're going to probably be making your way to third if Crane's charging. But are those conversations when we see a visit in the circle and Coach Dot comes out too and she's talking to the infielders while the pitching conversation's going on? Is that some of the stuff that you guys are talking about?
It can be. Kind of just depends on the game. I think a lot of times she's showing us hitting charts and kind of sprays from where hitters are able to hit. But a lot of times it's more communication from the middles, just saying, okay, I'm over, you got it, and then we'll kind of relay that to Jesser and let her know in the catching position. But it's more just kind of pitch-to-pitch communication that we work on from practice that bleeds into the game.
Outside of the games, because you guys have won some big games in your short time here, you've already won some huge games, Georgia and Alabama and so on. But what are some of your best memories off the field? Because this seems like a pretty fun group to be around.
It really is. I think some really fun ones were, I think in New Mexico last year we went to a restaurant and it was the most hilarious thing. So they have like this really nice open space for us, and we went there this year as well. And we just had a great group. Bach is one of them. Her laugh is just amazing. And the whole time, we're laughing all night, and everyone else around us keeps like giving us an eye because we're being so loud. But that was a really great memory. I also just love before the games, like Hacky Sack, the video just came out.
Yeah.
That was awesome. First of all, that video was great. But it's even small moments like that just, KK is so fun to be around. Aubrey, Woodard, I just love the times that I get with all the players, and especially the seniors that are going to be leaving soon. So I don't know. Those are some of the memories that came up to me first, I would say.
If you had to pick a teammate or two to take to, let's say, America's Got Talent, and you guys are going to put on a show for everybody, who would be your go-tos?
Okay. Everyone's first answer should always be KK. She's great all the way around. She can sing, she can dance.
Comedian.
And she can do it all. So whatever act you need, she can do it. I'd also say Kaylin Yoder is my roommate, and she, when she hears this, she's going to kill me, but she can sing really well, and she just doesn't like to sing in front of people. But if I could get her on stage and she would sing, it would be awesome. So Kaylin and Kaylin duo, that could be even cooler. It's a good name.
There you go.
Yeah.
So do you enjoy singing?
I enjoy it. I'm not good at it. I mean, it's fun.
I'm kind of in that same boat. I enjoy it, but not always.
Yeah.
Ever you find a song or two that you go, I can do that song. Like I can hit that note.
Yeah.
No. Mariah Carey, keep that. No. I can't do that. Can't do that. So what's your go-to? If the team's having a big karaoke deal and it's your turn up, what are you picking?
Well, last week, where were we? My mind's everywhere. We did a karaoke night at like a rage room / what's it called?
The Axe thing?
The Axe thing.
Yeah.
They also had a karaoke stage. So we go up there. It's me, Maddie Bachman, and Alexia, and we sing Love by Keisha Cole. And that's a tough one too, but at that point we're just screaming into the mic. The music's louder than us, so it doesn't matter, but that's a good one. I also love Bruno Mars, so those would be my top two artists to go to, I guess.
I saw this. I've never done it. I'd be scared to do this, but I've seen karaoke situations where they put beats on you.
Yeah.
You can hear the music. Nobody else can hear the music. And so you're singing a cappella, but in your head, you can belt it because the music's so loud that everybody else is just hearing you natural. Have you ever done that one?
No, I don't intend to either. I don't think that would be for me, but it would be fun to watch.
Yeah. You want to be the one that's last in line, and you hope that you get to where you're going before the bus stops before it's your turn.
Yeah,
that's what you're hoping for. So what are some things that kind of keep you busy off the field?
I think, especially in the fall, I will say that we're so busy that it's nice to just go home and rest now as much as possible. But when we have time, playing pickleball, basketball, beach volleyball, those are like my top three. And I know it's like, well, you play sports all the time. I love it. It's so fun. And a lot of the team goes and plays, and we'll do like different pickup games and stuff. So that's my favorite. I really love that. I used to play basketball when I was younger, so those are some good times.
Point guard?
Point guard.
Okay.
Yeah. Smaller on the court.
Just a
point
guess.
Guard. Yeah.
Just a guess. You could have been shooting guard,
Yeah,
but
my brother is.
You just seemed like, you'd be the one that want to have the ball in your hands, so that's pretty good. Who in your family was kind of your athletic inspiration?
I mean, both my parents are pretty athletic, and just they love sports and just always wanted me to get into it. I remember, I think I was 5, and they were like, okay, you either have softball, basketball, or gymnastics, pick one. And at the time, I had first picked basketball, and then later I got into softball. But I think that both of them were definitely an inspiration just from how passionate they are in sports anyways, and just how dedicated they were to helping me just understand sports, love sports, and just putting all the time and money into it. So that's a big inspiration. And also my little brother, he plays basketball. He is a sophomore in high school. He is one of the best shooters I've ever seen at his age. He's awesome. He's so good. So it's really fun playing him. I can still beat him whenever, but it's fun.
Anytime you want.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. And I know your family, they are obviously very supportive. They travel to a lot of your games, and the first ones on social media when the videos come out, they probably already liked the hacky sack
I'm sure.
video. That's important, especially when you're away from home, to be able to have that support system and know that you've got somebody, even if they can't always physically be wherever you are, but you know they're there in spirit if they're not there literally there.
Yeah, it's really important, and I think they do such a great job at just keeping me inspired, because it's a long season, both fall and spring, and just knowing that there's a lot of tough things that we go through individually and as a team, and they're just, my number one supporter is always leading me closer to Christ and just showing me that, I'm here for a reason, and that the team, even when we're going to Texas A&M, like, it's a great opportunity, and it's time for God to be glorified. And I think that when my family starts showing me those things from the beginning, it can also come from me. So my mom and my dad and grandparents, extended family, I have such a big tribe that supports me, but all of it is just such a blessing to have, just knowing at home I have such big supporters, and it just pushes me to work harder every day. So I'm super thankful for all of them.
What are you studying?
Strategic communication. So I have a kind of like digital media and social media management focus. That's what I'm going with so far. So it's been enjoyable. So stuff like this is really cool for me to get to see, but yeah.
So you kind of look at things with a creative eye when you can?
I think so. Like, that's why I think I love the hacky sack video so much, and just all the different media pieces that come out with Flames Creative and just different programs is so cool, and something that I'd be interested to get into one day. Yeah,
it's the video that David Hurley put together after the Conference USA Championship.
Oh, yeah.
And I do deal with some video stuff, audio stuff, but then I see what he does, and I think to myself, like, it would take me a week to put out, and it still wouldn't be as good, but it would take me a week to put that together, and he turns that around in less than a day. He got this Emmy award-winning recap video that has all the drama, and it just kind of keeps you, it just sort of grips you, and you watch it. So you've got a lot of resources here in the athletic department and the university in general, as far as if that's something that you're interested in, you've got a lot of ears that you can bend and learn from. So that's really cool. Have you gotten to the point in your studies that you've done any hands-on stuff, or is it all just still kind of lecture classroom right now?
Still just lecture classroom. We do a lot of projects within, so we'll work with different people in our classes on creating videos and creating advertisements for different companies and stuff, but they're all pretty just mock-ups as of right now. But I'll be graduating next year, so we'll be getting into a lot more experience type things, as well as I'll have to do an internship. So
what could you see yourself doing down the road with that?
So I still really love sports, so I'd really love to be involved with, college, maybe to pro athletics, just being able to, give athletes a platform wherever I can do that. I'd also love to do it with the church. I just love being able to showcase different worship times and a lot of the community of the church as well, and being able to put that online in a great way to just showcase God's glory and his children and all the things. So that would be cool as well.
Well, that is pretty cool. Before I let you go, we talked a little bit about your family, but any other hello shout outs that you want to send out to the folks that, did you have any friends that are playing on other teams that maybe that you played growing up that now they're here, they're there, and have you had any run-ins? And I don't mean in a bad way, but played collegiate games with any of your friends?
I've had quite a few, and I don't want to miss any, but I had a Louisville girl, Cameron Lookadoo. I had from Kennesaw, she's in the portal right now, but Emma, she's amazing. Claire Cahalan from Missouri. When we were at WKU, Caitlin Kemp, she's from my hometown, so I've known her since I was 6 years old.
Remind everybody your hometown.
Henderson, Kentucky.
Kentucky.
So it's a little over an hour from where we were at in Bowling Green, but that was really cool. So I'm sure there are a few others, but I've gotten to play with quite a few people and see them as well on these different games, and they come from all over the country, which is really awesome. So those are some shout outs too, and they're having great seasons. So.
Well, Well, that's awesome. Was your area affected by the flooding and everything that kind of hit in Kentucky in the last month or two?
Not my area, because I have not heard about that at all. So I think we're good to go.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Because there was, I know, that might have been more in like the Louisville, like right around Louisville and Indiana, southern Indiana.
Gotcha.
But they got quite a bit of rain.
It's always something, either tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, whatever it is.
Yeah, now you're going to Texas and it's going to be 99 degrees. So.
Yeah, we need to drink a lot of water, get a lot of rest.
That's right. Stay hydrated. That's so important. Well, I hope you have a great rest of the season. And it's been a lot of fun kind of catching up and learning a little bit more. And we look forward to many more conversations in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
We'll be back with Head Coach Dot Richardson right after this here on the Liberty Softball Show.
At Carter Bank, we believe life is best lived full of opportunities and dreams, of goals achieved and promises kept. We've been creating opportunities for more people and businesses to prosper since 1974. That means great local lending, convenient access to your money, accounts and guidance that make it easier to get more done. We are Carter Bank, the preferred community bank of Liberty Flames Athletics. Visit carterbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Curious about the Central Virginia housing market? Carl Miller Realty are your caring, competent, trusted advisors for real estate sales in Central Virginia. With over 100 years of combined experience, they are committed to helping clients make informed housing decisions. For a winning game plan and to discover the value of your home, visit carlmillerrealty.com to make your next move a slam dunk.
Thompson Brooks Insurance has been serving Virginia for over 40 years, helping individuals and businesses with their insurance and investment needs. The team at Thompson Brooks is experienced in understanding life and health insurance, Medicare, and retirement planning. Thompson Brooks Insurance can be reached at 434-385-8500 or online at thompsonbrooksinsurance.com. Thompson Brooks Insurance, planning today for tomorrow.
Century Exteriors offers exterior home renovations, including but not limited to gutters, roofing, siding, home additions, and much more. Century Exteriors makes the process seamless. Call 434-239-6722 for a free on-site estimate or visit centuryexteriors.com and Century Exteriors on Facebook and Instagram. Century Exteriors is a proud supporter of Liberty Flames Athletics.
Welcome back into the Liberty Flames Softball Show. I'm now joined by Head Coach Dot Richardson. Coach, welcome in.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me, Jamie.
It's fun to talk about statistics and what ifs and all the things that Joe Carmody spends his life digging up, and then we regurgitate them in 10 seconds, and it took him 10 hours to figure it out. But the one thing that I saw that he sent me was that no number one seed in the super regional era has ever been knocked out of their regional. And so I look at that and I believe you're going to agree with me on this. It's so tough to win a regional anyway, whether you're playing the 6th seed or the 16th seed or the 1 seed. It's tough to win a regional. If you're going to win one, you might as well make history.
Double history. Liberty Softball has never been to the Supers, so we want to have that as a goal at the beginning of this season. We wanted to make sure that this was a team that could possibly reach that goal, and that was one of the things we wanted to do. But you're right, to make second history, to take down a number one who's never been taken down, would be very excited. I look at this as like a David versus Goliath in a little way, but we ourselves are pretty established, and I'm not sure that Texas A&M is really excited we are in their regional. But we're just going to give our best and trust that God's got a plan, and we're going to trust him on that and give it everything we got to be the best that we can be. And if we do that, no matter what, we can walk away proud.
Yeah, no question. And I know the fans that maybe don't know the insides of the selection process and all that, they just look at that and they go, wow, what a huge disrespect to send Liberty up to the number one team in the country. But I guess the positive that can be taken from it is you were given a number 2 seed in that region, and that's not always the case. North Florida, for example, from the ASUN, they got a 3 seed, and so that's a little bit of a nice thing. It would have been nice to have been a 2 seed a little closer to home, just so that the fans would have had an easier run at it. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is it's not as much of a slap in the face. If they would have given you a 3 seed and sent you to Texas A&M, I would have asked for an inquiry, and we'd have been protesting at the steps of the NCAA. So I guess is it a little bit of a hidden blessing in there that you got the respect that they're putting you on that number 2 seed line, and just maybe not the site that you were expecting?
Yeah, I think that shows some recognition of our body of work. I do think the shock was basically because no one thought we'd be going to Texas. Whether it didn't really matter whether we were playing Texas A&M or Texas Tech, it was more of like, what? Like, we expected it to be probably South Carolina or Clemson or Virginia Tech, but Virginia Tech didn't even get to host. Yeah. So there's a lot of like, what? But with so many SEC schools and they want them all in, they cannot play in the same regional. I'm not sure if people are aware of that. So what they had to do is give a lot of SEC some, hosting opportunities. So of the top seed, I think of the 8 that could host Supers, 7 of them are SEC schools. But there's a reason, everything from ESPN to all of this stuff and the size of facilities. I think that there's a lot that comes into play. We have a challenge before us. We're not taking it lightly, including Marist. We have to beat them with a record of 47-7 and 1 tie. They got a good pitcher and they got some really good hitters. Particularly, I think there's about 3 of them that are, in the 400s in the batting average. So we cannot take anything lightly. And as the press and our thought about number 1 seed of Texas A&M, we've got to get through Marist first and make sure then we're playing it 1 pitch at a time, getting ready for the next bout, which most likely between Texas A&M and St. Francis will be the number 1 seed, Texas A&M. But we do have a history, as you pointed out. It's been 6. This will be our 6th regional. It'll be the 5th in a row. Didn't realize that until everyone started talking. And of the 5 regionals we've been in, we have been able to take down, a pretty high seed at each of those. But some we were able to eliminate from the tournament. The others came back to get us in an if game. So we need to get the job done. And this is a team that can do it.
And they just look at your current roster. They've beaten
Alabama,
UCLA,
North Carolina,
Georgia.
But in the regionals that you're talking about, UCLA, we took down UCLA. First time they were taken out in a regional in decades. Then in South Carolina, our first regional with Julie DiMartino there, we were able to take down South Carolina and just lost 2-1 and took it to an if game. And Jules just ran out of gas, right? Just pitching so many games. And then we look at Tennessee. We took Tennessee out of their regional, and that shocked the softball world too. Then we were at Duke, and we took down Georgia 1 game. They came back to beat us in a 1 a.m. morning game. And then, the latest one that we're at Georgia, we beat Georgia once. They came back and beat us, and we came back, went out away from winning the game in the bottom of the 7th, and they got it done, and we didn't. So close, but yet so far.
Good motivation, though.
Good motivation. This team is motivated for sure.
And, just about everybody on the team was there last year, and they remember that. And, sometimes a little heartache can be exactly what you need the next year to kind of get to that next.
And Conference
step.
USA Championship Tournament,
Yeah.
Started off pretty easy. Next game we lost. And then we went a 10-inning game, easily could have went the other direction against La Tech. But they fought and got inspired, and the 6th or 7th inning there, they just realized what they needed to do to win, and they took that in the championship game to run rule Jacksonville State 8-0. So we need to feed on that, and this is going to be fun.
Last thing for you, tell us what you know about Texas A&M. What can we expect from the Aggies?
Well, we talked about Marist. We got to get them. And the Texas A&M has got a stellar pitcher in the circle, a lefty, senior, throws the ball 70 to 74 miles an hour, lots of movement. She just, she's the real deal. Okay. Then they have a lot of speed. So they're going to take extra bases. They're going to steal. It's going to be a quick, exciting game. And so right now it's a matter of everything needs to come together, and that's postseason anyway. The hits need to be at least an inch fair instead of an inch foul, and we got to get the calls, and our hitters just need to be, they're going to easily be zoomed in, because when you have a pitcher throwing that hard, you're zoomed in. So when you take your confidence and loving the game, doing what they know the Lord has given them the gifts to do, and to want to do it together, it's a good recipe, right?
And I know as a coach, Marist is the only thing that your team is focusing on right now. I apologize for kind of slipping past them, but I think at some point your paths are going to cross with Texas A&M over the course of this weekend. I certainly know that's the goal, is to have your paths cross with them before the weekend is over. And so kind of good just to get an idea of everybody that's there and know sort of what you're getting yourself into. And the fans, they like the little previews that we tell them about. But I know those that can somehow get to Texas, you'd love to have them there. If they can't support in spirit, watching the games on television, listening to them on radio.
Well, we already have a lot of fans in Texas reaching out saying we're going to be at the game. We have alumni that are in Texas. We've been to Texas. I have friends in Texas. Our staff does. So it's going to be fun. Sam Houston, we heard from their coaching staff. They're going to be there. It's going to be fun. I mean, McFarland, I don't even remember Tex, Caitlin McFarland's going to be there. Friends of mine, Trish, Hollander is going to be there, and just a lot of other people. So Liberty is largest Christian university in the world. We're all over the place, a lot of fans, and we're excited to be there. And all your support and your prayers are appreciated, and we're going to do our best and hopefully make you proud.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, we appreciate your time, and we'll see you down in the Lone Star State.
Look forward to it. I'm glad you're coming, Jamie. God bless everybody in Flames Nation. Thank you for being so strong and solid in Jesus. And we're going to go and hopefully make you proud, as I said. Go Flames and go God.
Outstanding. We'll wrap that up. That'll do it. If you want more information about whether it be tickets or just ways to watch the games or just want to follow along on the social media accounts, you can do that on Twitter, or X now, Instagram, Facebook, or go to libertyflames.com and get all that great info that I mentioned about Joe Carmody. It'll be right there on the website. And we'll be talking to you from Texas coming up here in just a couple of days.
You've been listening to the Liberty Flames podcast. Join us next time as we visit with those making Liberty Flames news on the field, on the court, and in the classroom.